Welcome to the HBCU Stroll with the coach, yours truly, Johnny Football, as some of my friends call me, Cole. Today I got a special guest. And before I bring him on, I just got to say some things that we got to make sure that we love each other. And the guy I'm bringing on, he's bigger than to me than football. He's an idol of mine. He's a special friend of mine. And the reason why I say, growing up in the North, we didn't see black quarterbacks until I got a chance to see Grambling State play, and Doug Williams was the quarterback wearing number 12. But I don't want you guys to look at Doug Williams, the football player. I want you to look at him as a Frederick Douglass, as a W.D. Bowles, as a Andrew Young, as a Jesse Jackson, because the things that Doug Williams been through, not the football part, but the political part. Here's a guy that was drafted in 1978. He was the only quarterback drafted, 17th round pick, first ever black quarterback drafted in the first round. Okay, coming from an HBCU. Not only was he drafted, then when he was drafted, they didn't want to pay him no money. So then once he got to Tampa Bay, they had a contract dispute the year after he started making the team win, and Doug had to leave the university. Leave Tampa Bay because over $100,000. The thing that I loved about Doug Williams is he never ran from who he was. He never ran from his blackness. He has a book they're called Quarterback Black. He stands up for his university. He never turns his back on Grambling State University or any HBCU. So I look at him as a hero. I look at him as a Jackie Robinson of black college football. He never runs for that. He let people know that he actually put his career online to say, yes, I am a black quarterback. He goes to the Super Bowl, first black quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl, first black quarterback to win. This guy's huge, and I don't want you to ever forget that. We need to honor our black heroes because he's never shied away from that. And I want to bring him on, Mr. Doug Lee Williams. How you doing, Coach? How you doing? I'll call you Coach.
Thanks, Johnny, man. You put me in some great company, man, and I appreciate that. It's you put me in that company, but it just
that you never ran from who you were.
Nah, I am who I am, and it's hard to be anybody else if you grew up that way. And I was fortunate enough to have good parents, good role model, good people, mentors, and that's who they were, and that's who I wanted to be.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna take you back, Coach, because I got an hour with you. All right, 1978. You the man. You get drafted in the first round. I know you said, "Whoa, boy, I'm about to make me some money. I'm about to buy mama house or whatever you wanted to buy." And then they came with this low offer. I know I'm taking you back to some dark days, but I just want the folks to know that Doug Williams said, no. Y'all ain't gonna treat me like that.
Yeah, you know what? That was a time because we had played football all our life for nothing, and I understood that. But when I got there, the contract offer, wasn't the best in the world. 17th pick in the draft. It's nothing like it is today, and that's understandable. The guys before us wasn't like that. But they didn't want to do anything, and I sat out for a whole week. I missed a whole week of training camp, and I got with my attorney, and I told him, I said, you know what, let's just find a way to get in there, and we'll make it work down the road. That was my thing. It happened after a few years in the league, and then they realized what they had to do. And I went in there, and I'm gonna say this today. If I was a 17th pick in the draft, and it's it's not a matter of comparing because guys like Jim Brown, they didn't make any money either back then. But today's guy, if you 17 pick, you guaranteed at least $15 million, guaranteed, regardless of what happened. this is funny, but it's also sad when I think about it. And a lot of time I sit around, I think about it, I laugh at it to keep from crying because it was what it is.
Right,
I I made
$20,000.
$160,000 bonus.
Wow.
That was my bonus, and my first year's salary was $50,000.
Wow.
But when you look at it,
But you the quarterback, though, Coach. You the quarterback. You ain't the coach. You ain't the tight end. You the quarterback.
But just imagine for a 5-year, $165,000 bonus. That's to cover 5 years. And I signed that, and I lived up to it, and I went out and gave them everything I had. That's what life was about. It was playing football, and 5 years, 3 playoffs, going to the championship game my second year, and all that. And after 5 years, they didn't want to come correct, so it was time for me to stand up and do what I had to do. I didn't care whether I played football after that.
Yeah, but this is the part I like about Doug Williams. You let it known. This is racism. You didn't run away from that, Doug, and that's what we got to do today. That's why I'm saying that you're so special. That you wasn't about the money.
No,
you were about standing up for our race to say this is wrong, guys. But you were so good, they couldn't do without you.
Yeah, let me tell you what happened. My first game of my professional career in Tampa. I stood on the sideline doing the national anthem, and after the game was over with, we played New York Giants. After the game was over with, I had a reporter ask me what was going through my mind and what am I thinking about as the national anthem is playing and standing on the sideline. And I was as honest as the day is long. And I told him, I said, you know what? I was counting to see how many black coaches was on the other side. and let me tell you something. That's an honest answer. Straight answer.
I don't know if this is a quarterback thing, Doug, but today, when I watch the USFL, now the XFL restart, when I watch the NFL, that's what I do. When when they get to that sideline, I want to.
Yeah.
And then I see them. I see some of the black guys got headsets, but ain't nobody saying nothing. The only one talking is the other guys on the other side.
Yeah, but what happened after that? The next morning, the exact next morning, that Monday morning after the game, I walked in the complex and somebody said, Coach McKay was looking for you. I said, okay. So I went down. He said, come on, Dougie. Come on in my office, Dougie. He called me Dougie. They say if he put IE on your name, he likes you. So I figured it wasn't nothing happening. So I walked in Coach's office, and the editor of the Tampa Bay Tribune was sitting in there. He said, Tom, I want to talk to you. I said, okay. So I sat down, and Tom said, look, he said, I want you to make it down here, Tampa. Now, you can't go no deeper south in Tampa. If you go any further, you're in the Gulf. Mm-hmm. And he said, you can't say what you said yesterday. I said, what did I say? He said, I had a reporter ask you, what was you thinking about? I looked at him kind of, I said, yeah, I told him I was counting the number of black coaches on the sideline. He said, that's what I'm saying. You can't say that down here. And I was stunned because, we only had one black coach on our staff. Yeah. So I'm saying, dog, what can I say then if I can't say that? And that always registered with me that looking at on the other sideline, counting the number of black coaches, I can't say that. No, I wasn't pigeonholed like that, man. And
yeah, it was even worse back then.
Yeah. Oh no, people don't understand. They look at today's, and it's so much different as a black quarterback because every article, no matter who wrote it, where it was written at, whatever city, it was always Doug Williams, Tampa's black quarterback, or Tampa Bay's black quarterback, Doug Williams.
Wow.
It had to have that adjective in it to make it an article.
But that was okay. That was okay to use black, but you can't use black in a good way.
No, no matter what the article was, it didn't matter who was writing it. It's going to either be Tampa Bay's black quarterback or Doug Williams' black quarterback at Tampa. It wasn't going to get around. It wasn't going to let black get out the sentence at all. It was going to be in there.
Okay. All right. I'm taking you, Coach. I got to get it in. Okay, here you are.
Get it in.
Graduated from Zachary High School.
Cheneyville. It was in Zachary.
Cheneyville. Okay. They didn't rate y'all. They didn't rate us back in them days. But you 5-star. You all state. You the man. You 6'4". You could win anywhere probably. What made you go to Grambling State?
Well, it could have went anywhere today, not
Yes.
back then. Back then,
Okay.
it was the first black quarterback to play in the SEC was Kendrick Holloway. That was in 1972, but that was in
Okay.
Tennessee. Nobody else was in the South or the Southwestern Conference. That's Texas, Arkansas, and all those schools. They weren't bringing in black quarterbacks.
Okay.
And
Oh yeah. Oh no, they wouldn't bring in black players.
yeah, at that time. So I had Tennessee State, I had Jackson State, I had Southern University and Mississippi Valley. Those was the guys that recruited me. And to be honest with you, Johnny, I wanted to go to Southern for one reason, because it was close to the house.
Right.
I figured my mom and dad and my family would get a chance to just drive right there to Southern and see me play.
That's right.
Unfortunate, but fortunate, to be honest with you, my mom, Coach Rob, had never seen him play. We had a guy in South Baton Rouge named Adolph Berg. He played for Coach Rob. So back then, you know how alumni do. He did anywhere down south, from Clinton, Louisiana, all the way to New Orleans. Adolph Berg signed every athlete that went to Grambling. And he told Coach Rob there was a boy and a receiver. I took my receivers with me. He changed the defensive back. Him and I was at Cheneyville High School, and Coach Rob called my mom late one night. We got that party line with, at that time, if you don't know what a party line is, we had about 11 people on the same line. you can pick up and somebody else say, "Who is this on this phone? This Robert's boy. Let me use that phone." You put it down, because that was old folks. Right. Well, somehow Coach Rob got through that night, and he was talking to my mom, and I'm asleep. And my mom came in there and shook me and woke me up, and she tells me, "You going to Grambling?" So I wait. I said, "Wait a minute, how you gonna say where I'm going?" She said, "Because I just got off the phone with Coach Robinson, and he told me you're gonna go to class, you're gonna graduate, and you're gonna go to church." And I looked at it, I said, "Okay." And the rest is history. I ended up going to Grambling, man, because my mom made the greatest decision that she can make for me. And you know what? I'm grateful for that today.
Right. Hey, I want to send a shout out to Boyd Grayson. She's watching the show, and Trey Pike, who never misses a show. So every now and then I gotta give my people a shout out who kind of follows me. But all right, Coach, we moving on to Washington. I know you went to the Outlaws, the USFL.
Right.
You played there because they were handing money out.
They were.
You go to Washington, man. You got beat up a little bit by Tampa Bay. Take it from there.
Well, you know what? Playing Tampa Bay for 5 years. Now, one thing people don't really know is in 1983, Johnny, I did not play that one lick of football. I sat out a whole year between 82 and 83. So in 84, I went to the USFL, played 84 and 85. The next year, it folded. And then get a call from Joe Gibbs. Out of all the teams in the NFL now, we're still in that period of good old boy period. There's only one team called me, Joe Gibbs. And the reason why Joe Gibbs called me, because Joe probably knew me better than anybody. He's the only guy, when I was coming out of college, that came down to Grambling and spent 2 days with me. Yeah. And I was doing student teaching at Carroll High School. And he came and sat in the back of the class for 2 days when class was over with. Him and I, we go to McDonald's and get something to eat, come back, and we go on the board. But what Coach did, he talked football, but he talked life. He wanted to know who was I. He wanted to know your family, all the things you've done and all that. So when he went back to Tampa, he told McKay that if we're going to draft a quarterback, we're looking for a franchise quarterback. The only guy in the whole draft is at Grambling. And, John McKay, you got to give him credit, because when I was coming out of high school, I either wanted to go to Grambling or SC. Because why SC? Because in 1965, he played Jimmy Jones. He was a black quarterback. He played Jimmy Jones. So that's why McKay was high. But lo and behold, when going back to USFL, when it folded, Joe Gibbs is the only football coach in the NFL that gave me a call. He called me and he said, "Douglas," the only guy called me Douglas too. He said, "Douglas, I'm calling because I want to know, could you come to Washington to be the backup quarterback?
Right,
And I
right.
told him, I said, Coach, I can come and be any up you want me to be because I don't have a job. He started laughing. He said, okay, I'm going to let you talk to Bobby Belton. And I talked to Bobby Belton. And in 86, August 86, I went up to Carlisle, Pennsylvania and became the backup quarterback. And you know what? I got in some good practice that training camp because I didn't play but one game through one pass all of 86.
Wow.
But in practice and stuff, I had some receivers, you know, Clarence Vernan, CNN, Eric Yarber, Ricky Sanders. You know, we was on
Yeah,
the backup
yeah,
team, and every
yeah.
day,
I know Ricky very well. I know
yeah,
him.
we used
You
to
know, it's
we used to cut the defensive backs up every day, and they didn't understand that, you know. So it carried
right.
on into '87, and you know, became Jay Strader was the starter, and he was in. He got hurt. I came in. We beat Philadelphia in a couple more games, so he gave Jay the job back. So I'm back up again, come off the bench against Detroit. You know, we come from behind. We end up winning the game. He gave Jay the job back again. And the last game was against the Minnesota Vikings that season. And we was behind. We had already made the playoff. We was behind. And I came off the bench and Ricky Sanders hit Ricky Sanders across the middle for a TD. We came back. We won that game. And at Coach Gibbs' press conference, the post-game press conference, you know, we was getting ready for playoff. And he said, look, he said, we're going to start Doug Williams going into the playoff. And he shocked me. I think he shocked all the players. But the offensive line was happy because you know what? They was Doug Williams fans. The offensive line
Hmm.
wanted me all the time. But Joe Gibbs had to go with his gut and ended up with that. That was history after that, Johnny.
I got two things.
Real done.
One, they said Doug Williams, the game of professional football. You change the game of professional football, how a quarterback looks. Professional football would still be living under a veil of prejudice, restricted by an unspoken premises that a black man does not have the mental faculty to fully master the quarterback position. People don't understand too, Doug. You was a scholar. You were
Yeah,
good in school as well.
they might
You
not.
know, back then, they used to look at us as, oh man, his head is big, his lips is big, his nose is big. He certainly can't think.
Well, you know
But
what?
now, huh?
You're right about that. You know, and you know, being a quarterback, number one for me, they couldn't add anything else on me. They couldn't say athletic because I couldn't. I could move, but I wasn't no runner.
I didn't know you could run that well.
Oh,
You
I can
ran pretty
run.
good in the what was the wing T?
Yeah, no, I can run if I had to. But I was coach. Coach Robinson told me that hell, I don't want my quarterback running. I got a wing back and I got two running backs. Hell, that's who's gonna run the ball. I just want you to hand it to him, and hell, you drop back and you throw it. That's your job. And you know,
Wow.
I took it like that. And you know,
Wow.
if you're a quarterback, if you can't play from the pocket, I don't care who you are, you're in trouble because running you can only run for so long, Johnny. You know,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
when you out there on that runway, it ain't easy out there on that runway. You
Well,
get hit.
I tell you, that's my philosophy. And I remember I was up in a bar talking to a defensive coordinator. We were talking about Mike Vick. And and I was like, man, Vic, yeah, Vic can play. I said, but he'll never win the Super Bowl. You can't. A quarterback is to deliver the ball. And I'm like you. I don't like running quarterbacks. Of course, you've seen the ones that when we played against each other. We're gonna get there, and we argued up and down.
Right.
Now, Vic went on to have a great career, but never won a Super Bowl. I don't. I think Fran Tarkenton maybe be the only quarterback to win a Super Bowl that
No.
ran the ball a little bit.
Oh, Fran Tarkenton was 0-4 in the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. But then that serves my that
The
serves
only
my. I know he win a couple times.
the only guy that got close to that, and then he's not a runner. You know, people look at Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is not a runner.
Right.
Russell Wilson can throw the ball from the pocket. That's his job. Now, what he could do, he can escape, he can move and get the
Right.
job done, but he's not a runner. And that's why he stays healthy, because he's not a runner. You know, look,
Okay.
Lamar Jackson is one of the most dynamic athletes of all time.
All times.
But he can't get him over the hump.
Well, we coaching now. We're gonna give this one more minute. They threw the ball too much in the playoffs. That ain't his game. They should have pound, won the game, small score. Quit putting him in front. That ain't who he is. Not saying that he can't do it, but that's not who he is.
Now,
I'm gonna have to get on John. I'm gonna have to get on John Harbaugh. You know, we work together in Cincinnati, so I'm gonna have to send him a note. All right, Doug. Now we leave pro. You've been a teacher. You've been a top quarterback, Super Bowl winner. You took over. Was the greatest thing the Grambling State ever done. Was hand that. I thought that was what you're supposed to do. I'm a big HBCU guy. Right. I'm a loyal guy. I'm a thing that you need to take care of home. And they hand you the rings. Big feet to follow. And boy, you jumped right in there, man, and did not fall off none. That's when me and you start facing each other.
Right. You know what? You know how I looked at that, Johnny? Coach Robinson bigger than life. It ain't gonna ever change at Grambling. It's gonna always be that way.
Yes, sir.
You know, you can't possibly go into Grambling and feel Coach Rob's shoes. That's what it's about. My thing was, we're gonna bronze these shoes, and we're gonna put them shoes up on the pedestal. You know, you got to put your own shoes up on it. You can't put them in Coach Rob's shoes. Right. And you know, fortunately, I went in when the program was down. They had two back-to-back 3-8 seasons.
Right.
And that wasn't Grambling. And you know, my brother Mike, who came in behind me, my roommate Ricky Grant, who was the center, and my oldest brother, they begged me not to take the job because they said you need to go in, somebody else go in behind Coach Rob. And I looked at it, I said, nah, man. I said, we can't go nowhere but up. I can't go no worse. I said, we can't go nowhere but up. And I went in there in the first year, Johnny, you know, we ended up 5-6, which is 2 games better. The next year we went 7-4. And in the third year, for the next 3 years, we won the SWAC. And, you know, you was there. But it's because what I did, we went out and recruit some good young players. And we let them take their lumps, you know. I didn't worry about no transfers or anything. I got these players. If they're gonna play this position, they got to be here for the next 4 years.
I'm going to be messy, Doug. Now you didn't hire a white offensive coordinator or defense coordinator, did you? Matter of fact, the coordinator you hired, ain't he the head coach of Tampa Bay?
That's Todd Bowles. He was one of my defense coordinators.
Wasn't he on your staff too?
Yeah, he was with me at Morehouse, and I took him to Grambling. You know, and the offensive coordinator was Melvin Spears, was my offensive coordinator. You know,
exactly.
It's too many young or old or whatever. It's too many black coaches out there.
So you know where we're moving to what my show is all about. We're gonna move into that, but I got to say one more thing though, Doug. We as HBCUs, presidents, ADs, y'all got to give us a chance. You got to keep our jobs for us, because that's the only way that we're going to get opportunity. Their ice is not colder than our ice. You can't take a running back job because he coached at a PWI school, a predominantly white institution, and make him the head coach. You give him the keys to our – you got to stop that. And when we do get our jobs at HBCUs, we got to stop giving these white guys, and this ain't racism, this is taking care of your own, you know, the head position on the staff. I understand a little diversity.
John, it would be tough if it wasn't no coaches out there.
Right.
You know, we got coaches who can do whatever job need to be done. Yeah. You know, so my thing is, when I went to Grambling, you know, when I went to Grambling as a student, we couldn't go a lot of other places.
Right.
So when I came back as a coach, and I'm gonna be honest, you know, I looked at guys that I know can do the job, and every guy I knew was a color, a black guy. So I had no reason to go outside that rim to bring in other coaches. So,
Right.
my thing, I wanted my players to see that we could do the job. And it should be the same thing at other places, but it's not, because every Power 5 school, the NFL, the majority of their players are black players. And
Yeah.
I think it's good to see people that in tough and great position like coordinators that let those players know that they can do the job. And it's something special when your players see a black man in a coordinator position. That's big time, and I think that's what we got to do. And these president AD got to get away from saying, well, he worked over here, he worked over there. First of all, and whether they believe it or not, when you work at an HBCU, it's so much different than working anywhere else.
Right.
And see, they got to understand that if you went to school there, you worked there, HBCU better than anybody, because the one thing you're not going to get is everything you want. You're going to be shorthanded on a whole lot of stuff. So the most important thing, you got to understand that you're going to have to work with some things that you don't have. And a lot of people can't adjust to that kind of atmosphere, because I don't have a blackboard. I don't have a pop-up dummy. My practice field is bad. I practice. Let me tell you something. If our practice field was dirt, we would have some grass. We practice on sand every day. Our whole field was full of sand and little sprinkle of grass here and there. But we didn't worry about it, because that's what we had. Coach Rob told us this. He said, we've done so much with so little. We can do everything with nothing. You know what?
I want to thank Keith for watching. He's a 44-year-old Tampa Bay. He said you are his second best.
But who was his first?
Selma.
Oh, Leroy. Okay, I got you. I ain't mad at him. Yeah. I'm not mad at him.
And this is the other thing. You left the conference, controversy. LC left the conference, controversy. I left the conference, controversy. We got to quit doing it. I don't even know if you know. The year they let you go, the second game or third game of the year, that was your 25th anniversary on winning the Super Bowl. They should have been throwing a banquet, a fundraising banquet in your honor. You don't do that to a Doug Williams. You don't do that to it. My aunt might have done it to me. It ain't what you do, it's how you
do it.
And it ain't personal. To me, when you do stuff like that, that's personal. I got to think about Grambling State. I got to think about Texas Southern. Let me wait till after the season. Let me sit down and make sure that Doug's all right and the university are. Because the university is going to go on forever. Doug Williams is just one life. The university going to be here when Doug leaves, when Texas Southern going to be there when Johnnie Cole leaves. But you don't win a championship like I done. And the first one, Doug, in 54 years, the only one in the school history, and then let you go after a season. We better than that. We should be. Just like you guys got controversial with the women's the volleyball coach. That shouldn't happen. Stop fighting in the newspaper. That girl is a Gremlinite. Don't forget that. And I know it's about the students and having scholarships, but it's a better way. Give her a second chance.
Johnny, but we talking football. We talking football, but we just hit the volleyball thing and what you just said. First of all, they say she cut the whole team, right? Right. And I don't know whether she cut the whole team or a few of the players and the rest of them quit. I don't know about that. But you can't do it. If you got AD, you cannot do that alone.
Exactly.
Somebody has to sign off on it.
Exactly.
Right. And the other thing is you fire a young lady who has not coached a game at your school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And she's alumni.
She's alumnus. And then you say you did an internal audit on her. What's the audit about? What you investigating? To me, I don't know what excuse they got, and it's my school. But I can say this, we look bad for the way we've done everything in the last few months. And, being who I am, I don't talk about a lot of situations, but I'm going to say what I have to say about whatever has happened, from From Art Browse to this young lady, man, I think we have not done things right in the last few
Right,
months.
right, right. And we can't afford to do things right. And then we always want to go to the newspaper with it. How about we have nothing to say
Well,
about
I
it?
think it's a defense tactic for the administration to put stuff out there because it make the person that they talking about look bad. And hopefully, I don't know what the young lady gonna do, or what she has a lawyer now. I have no idea. But she can't win either if she get in the paper and start saying stuff.
No,
It
no,
shouldn't be a back and forward or what have you.
no, no.
Somewhere along the line, it got to come to some kind of
Well,
resolution.
hey, Doug, me and you can tell her just go get lost for a while. Be little.
That's what
And
it's
if
all
you
about.
good, you gonna bounce back.
It's gonna
You see what
bounce
I'm
back.
saying?
See, that's like when they let me go. I know this president. It was personal for him because when we go to things and they have things on campus or whatever, he was one of them guys that he loved for people to come up and talk to him, make him seem big, right? And it's not that I'm bigger than him. I never looked at it that way. But I didn't walk in the room to go find him. I didn't go to kiss. I didn't go to kiss his ring. None of that. And I got fired over buying signs. I bought signs to put in the parking lot for every coach. Put it out of my money now, not theirs, my money.
Right.
I put their name on a sign at every parking spot. He came over one evening at practice. I'm on practice field. He came over with his crew, and he told me, he said, "Look, you don't own nothing around here." I looked down and said, "Well, what is he talking about? You can't put no sign." I say, "Doc, the last time I was here, I put signs up for the coaches. I don't care. You don't own nothing." He had his people come and take all my signs up. And look, we played a game. We played ULM. We got beat. And that Tuesday morning, his secretary called me and say, "Dr. Paul want to see you." I said, "Okay." I ain't thinking nothing of it. And the AD, one of them old Yass boys, he was in the building. And he didn't say a word. He just came in the building. I went to the president's office. I walked in, and he said, "We're going a different way, young fella." I said, "Okay."
Wow.
I said, "Okay, thank you." And I was walking out. He said, "No, Mr. So-and-so, the man owes finance, and he want to see you." So I sat there, and he came in, and he was telling me about, the money they owe me and how they going to pay it or whatever. I said, "I'll get back to you. I'll let my lawyer call you. I'll get back to you." And I walked out the door and never looked back,
Right.
And I knew I had a place to go. That was the good part about it.
Right.
Call
Right.
Boots.
Well, see, and see, Doug, that's what I'm said it. When we used to go on the SWAC tour, and I remember Eddie on the bus was saying, "What's gonna mess this game up is when you start putting people in position that don't know about the game." And back then in them days, football coach big stick, and at some universities they still do.
They still do, right?
But for some way in black colleges, is that the president is always gonna make more money than the head football coach. I don't care what he comes up with, he will never get a crowd that a winning head coach will get. That's why you make the money. And it's on HBCU campus. It's more about who's the big man than you disrespect me. And then these athletic directors, because that's what I'm hearing. All of a sudden now these athletic directors want to take a Jerry Jones stance. Now they want to be out front. An athletic director is supposed to be behind the scenes and support his coach.
Yeah, it's I've been noticing this for a long time. When these classic games are played, at the end of it, whoever the winners are, you got a big stage and you go up there and you get your trophy. Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you who's gonna beat the coach on stage. The AD and the head and the president gonna be the first one on stage, which should be in the press box watching it. I'm a firm believer that the president should be who he is. President raise money for the university.
Money.
And your AD should be the guy that looks out the athletic, but stand back and let the coach who's on the field every day, no matter what weather it is, no matter what game he plays, who's out there doing the work, let them get all the accolades that they deserve. Stand out the way. But that ain't happening. And it's unfortunate that the president on these campuses wants to be seen and want everybody to know that I am the man. You know,
I mean, it's like it's personal, coach. It's like all this is mine, and I don't want to give up. I, I I I mean, I've been there. I've been at that championship stage, and I went to grab a trophy, or it either was passed down because I was assistant head coach, and that's how it is. And we got to, guys like you and myself. It's no more that you can be. They call being confident arrogance,
yeah.
and arrogance is really an asset. It's not a
Well,
liability.
well,
I
you
mean,
know,
you
think
want
about
somebody in control of your program that as a head coach, you're supposed to be the expert of your,
program.
your what you do, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, volleyball, bowling, not the
Well,
AD. If,
no,
if, if
you
you
know,
need the AD to tell you who to cut and who to recruit, he
you're
don't
right.
need you.
You know, and I can say this: I call myself a law-abiding citizen. Anytime I did something, I wanted to go to the compliance office to make sure that I had the right to do it. You know, if I didn't, if it was in the rule book, let me see the rule. Let me see the rule. Let me know what I can and can't do. I never tried to just take over and run things the way it shouldn't be ran. But my program, if it's football, let me run football. That you made me the coach. I got football. I'm gonna go back to another time. We had a scheduling. He had hired this AD to be the AD, and I'd already made my schedule. You know, and I had control over who we played and whatever.
Right,
So he came in and he telling me that we're not gonna play so and so. This the AD, right? We're gonna play. I
right.
said, no, 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 no. I said, no, we're not. I said, you might. I said, you might coach him to play, but I'm not. That's not who we playing. And we had to go to the president, and I think this is part of the reason why I was fired too, because the president knew that I had control of the schedule, but he also had his AD that he lacked, and he wanted him to have control. I said, Dr. Pope, if he gonna make the schedule, he can coach the team. I
And,
told
and,
him,
and let me say this about Doug Williams. You coached early 2000s. You won 3 championships in a row. I think one or two of them was national championships.
right,
You turned
two,
it over to Melvin. He won championship. Then you left, and then you came back and won the championship again.
yeah, that's when things started going rough. Because when I came back, to be honest with you, Coach Broadway had won a SWAC champ, which was great.
Yeah,
But when I came back, the cover was bad,
yeah,
but we found a way. Remember, I think we lost 4 games. We had lost about 4 games before we had to go on a win. We had to win 6 games straight to go to the championship game.
right.
And we did that. You know, these kids, man, we went to Jackson, who we didn't have a prayer. And we pulled that game out. That was the biggest game of the year, and that gave us an opportunity to go to the championship game.
That's good coaching. Now
Yeah,
I'm great. We great. We moving on forward. Doug Williams, senior advisor to the president of Washington Commanders. You've been a coach before. You've won championships. Why Doug Williams can't be a head coach of an NFL team? You got years experience. You played the game. You've proved that, as a black man, I can lead and win championships. But then they get to hire a 32-year-old and a 33-year-old boy. I'm gonna call him a boy. Hey, I'm 58 years old to be the head coach of an NFL team. We got so many of guys with your background. I interviewed Irv Eatman, you know, before Vance Bedford. Irv coached in the league as well, and it's plenty of you guys. And you mean to tell me all these coaching changes since you stopped playing, you was a quarterback number one? That
right.
should give you. I don't know if you even, and maybe I'm jumping the gun. You might even never even wanted to be a head coach,
Well,
but
not really, but the general manager. I've been in position to move up, and
right,
I was in Tampa, I was in Washington, and it didn't happen.
right,
And people always want to go outside to get somebody. That's just like
right,
Ron Rivera came in. I was in personnel. Jonathan Allen, who's one of their best defensive linemen. Payne, they're around Payne. Sweat. His 3 of his front 4, all was first round pick. We picked those guys. But when he came in, He decided that he wanted to go a different direction and didn't want me to work in personnel. And I said, okay. And then the president said, you can come work with me. And I just took it like that and just moved over. I'm at the stage, Johnny, now. I'll be 67 next month, and I'm not going to fight anybody. I'm going to do what I can do. We got me and Shaq Harris got a lot of things going with the Black College Football Hall of Fame. We're moving to Canton. We got the.
And I'm gonna put my bid in for that in a minute. I'm gonna give 2 minutes to put my bid in to get that Black College.
We got.
I broke a couple records too at my university.
I got you, brother.
In fact, 9 of them.
And we got the Legacy Bowl going into New Orleans, and that's to give these black guys an opportunity to be seen. So with that, we got a lot going on, and so I don't worry about a lot of things. I'm in a great position to be able to do the things that I can do outside of the NFL.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you, Doug, we still need you. We need you. We need you to put some names in. We need to get a Doug Williams best 15 black coaches. We need you, man. We and you've been around long enough, and people listen to you. I got over 150 views from having you on my show, and I want to thank you for that. And we gonna need you. Here's a stat.
It's one thing I think black colleges can do when they ain't looking for a coach. Quit hiding these firms out there that don't know nothing about coaching. My thing is, if you put me, Shaq Harris, and maybe 1 or 2 other guys on a firm and say, hey, look, I'm looking for a black coach. Come up with 3 candidates. That's how you get your black coach. You can't go out to people that graduated from Power 5 here, to get a black coach to come in to coach at a historical black college. They don't understand that. That's what the president should do.
Well, we gonna start our firm. Me, you, Shaq. I got a couple of more brothers that can get on that, and we can sit down and determine who they need to hire.
No, ain't no question about that. But when they go outside a firm to get them some names, I mean, I look at the people that's been hired at some of these schools, and let me tell you this: I'm not gonna knock Deion. Deion, I'm gonna give him credit for one thing. He did coach high school. Give him a credit, but no, he coached high school.
Yeah, he was a coordinator, coach.
Yeah, but let me tell you something.
We're gonna give him some credit.
Yeah, what Deion has what Deion has that a lot of people don't have, he got a lot of backing.
Oh yeah.
And he got namesake. He got namesake. Would allow him to recruit the guys that he has. Yes. But these schools are looking for a Deion. Let me tell you something. It ain't but one.
It ain't number one.
And that's the problem. That's the problem they're running into. Is trying to find that rather than find a good football coach. Do
they know that Deion Sanders is like Muhammad Ali, Jesse Owens? It's only one of them, coach.
That's what I say.
Michael Jordan. Deion is one of the greatest athletes to ever put on some cleats.
That's what they don't understand. I ain't gonna take nothing from Eddie George, but you know what?
He ain't no Deion.
No, sir. No, sir. You got to get a football coach, man. Somebody who's done it, and hopefully his president will look at it from that standpoint and say, you know what, Jackson lucked up to get Deion. We didn't get him, but ain't but one out there. It ain't gonna happen, Right. And so I'm just saying to them, don't be looking for Deion because you can't find it. That's like looking for Nemo.
Let me throw a stat out to you, Doug.
All right.
95% of all athletic directors in college, Division 1, 2, 3, they not only harness in the NFL, they not harness on Division 1A level. They not hard black coaches on Division 2 level, and they show not harness on Division 3. 95% of the athletic directors in college football, in college athletics, are white. So that's a systemic problem. And of course, I want to bring awareness to it, but until some of them faces change, we always gonna be on struggling and trying to get into a sport that we dominate the major. We dominate track, we dominate football, we dominate basketball. Those are the three major sports in college football. But we pay state taxes, we pay federal taxes to fund these universities. And just like they went after Title IX and got the rights for women, they need to do the same thing for people of color.
No, I agree, and it's unfortunate that's the way it is. And you know what though? Let's be honest. They trample on that, and because they don't care. Ain't nobody policing them.
Right.
So they're gonna do that as long as they can until it's a way that we can find a way that you got to hire a minority in those positions. When it comes over, you got to give them a chance. That's just NFL.
But I gotta have Doug Williams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I gotta have Curtis Simon, who owns HBCU.go. I gotta have Charlie Neal. I gotta have Jay Walker. We gotta come together as black folks.
Oh, ain't no question.
We gotta help make a change. And I'm tired of talking to each other, Doug. You know what I mean? And my show is about letting folks know who Doug Williams is, not the guy just throw the ball. This man believes in blackness. He believes in who he is. And I just want to make sure that my folks who support me understand that.
Well,
we gotta love you, Doug. We gotta love you. We can't. Oh, when Doug said something, get off the negative. Ain't nobody living don't have something negative about themselves.
Well, you know, think about it, if it's negative, I'm one thing I try not to do is talk negative about a university, but I'm gonna tell you the truth about it. You know, which I think they should do. I'm gonna give a good example. Morgan State just hired Damon Wilson, right? Which I thought is a great hire.
Great hire.
But the problem is, I put a call in to the president of Morgan State, right? And he never returned my call. He don't know what I was talking about. I might have been calling to say I got a guy who wants to donate $1 million to you. He don't know. Right. You know, I just wanted to ask him about what he was looking for in his coaching. After Tyrone Wheatley left him, you know, that's another one that want to be Deion Sanders. That ain't gonna happen. You know, but I was gonna ask him what was he looking for. But since he hired Damon Wilson, that's all right, because Damon has done a great job at Bowie State.
At Bowie State.
Yeah, and he deserved that opportunity.
Bowie State produced some good coaches. They also produced the Henry Frazier. So it's some good coaches coming.
Matter of fact, we just hired his offensive coordinator to be that guy that the NFL said you got to come in, young guy, let him learn. We just had Tyree Reed to be that. Yeah, but no, man, I'm all about HBCUs now. I don't care what school it is. You know, I love Grambling to death, but if it's a problem, is there something going on at HBCU that I feel like shouldn't be going on, I'm gonna say what I got to say.
Yeah. And people gonna listen to you, Doug. Really, people gonna listen to you, because when that TSU job open up, I'm gonna have to have you go give me a call, Coach. I need to get back over there.
Hey, you know what, Johnny? Let me say this, and this is not blowing your horn, but you and your brother, man, I say this all the time, is probably two of the best coaches that I face, and I see. You know, the way y'all play football is the way it should be played, and it was great playing against you all. There's no reason at all that you should not be an offensive coordinator at least at one of these schools. All these jobs that's been open, you know, that's what I'm saying. They're hiring other people that you know that can't do it. You know, give Johnny a call. You know, and if I can help, believe me, if I can help you get it anywhere, you know, I don't mind calling the head coach. I think that's who you got to call. But you know, a lot of them already know they're gonna get the job. They got who they wanted. You know, I look at who I forgot who it was. I gave him a call to try to get somebody in. Oh, up at Alabama State, Eddie Robinson. You know, I called him. I said, Eddie, you got all your guys? Because you know, I know some guys. Yeah. Some guys can go out there and help him. You know.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, yeah. How do I connect with it?
Well, man, I tell you, man, you know, I still got the fire in my belly, but you know, I think I found a niche, you know, to express the unfairness that's what's happening to us all over America. Right. You know, it's no way that your constituents or your people is 75% of the athletes are black. You know, and I hate to say it, but it looks like the cotton field. you know. And then you look at the big house, and everybody is Caucasians, and it's just not right.
Yeah.
And it's not right economically. That they're paying these guys $500,000, $1 million, and these 22, 28-year-old white guys are getting these jobs like 900. None of them ever played the game. None of them, when they did play, they wasn't around. And you got black guys who, have been through it, have done everything that you have.
And did
Clean
it
up,
right. And
right,
have done
cut your
right.
hair,
Right.
get on the board, network, go to camps. I've been to Frisco, I've been to Chicago twice, I've been to the Dallas Cowboys twice, Jerry Jones Cowboy twice. Still, of course, I'm clean cut. I coach a good program, and I'm just saying it still ain't enough. It still ain't enough.
No,
But until I think
you're
we
right.
change some of these faces,
You know,
it's gonna
Johnny,
be tough.
in the NFL, I look at these staff, right? Right now, coaching staff now is 24 guys at least. Yeah,
Right.
you got coaching staff 24, 25 guys.
Right.
And I look at and see how many minority we got over there.
Right.
And if you got 2 or 3 guys, black guys on your staff, that ain't right.
That ain't right.
That ain't right. And I'm not just talking about other people's staff. I'm talking about our staff. Even in Washington, I look at our staff. I still don't think the proportion is what it should be.
Right.
But
right.
when you're not in control of that, it's left up to the head coach. And if the head coach got a good heart and a good mind, he would do whatever he could to make that what it was. A lot of these guys got jobs because the head coach or whoever knows the guy. And
Right.
sometimes you got to get out your comfort zone. You might not know a guy, but you got to give somebody else an opportunity to do the job.
Well, Bruce Arrington already proved that
That's my man.
Black coaches can take you and win a Super Bowl.
Let me
You
tell you
already
something.
proved that a black quarterback can take you to the Super Bowl.
Bruce Aaron is my guy. Anytime you hire your defense, offense, special team, and your assistant head coach, every last one of men of color.
Wow.
So that in itself says a lot. And then he stepped down and get Todd Bowles, the guy that I hired at Morehouse in '97, the guy that coached for me at Grambling, the head coaching job. Man,
Well, I hope Todd Bowles will listen to you.
Oh, that's my
when he
guy.
get his feet wet.
No, Todd, we've talked. He understands. Todd understands. But like when he got the job, it wasn't nothing he could do. But he's in a position now. He still got his coordinators and his assistant head coach. It looked like him, so that's pretty darn good. And he got other guys in position. But
we definitely gotta start helping each other, man.
Yeah.
And I remember at one time in the SWAC and the MEAC, over 20 teams. You got 13 or 14 of the 40 coordinators are white. I don't understand why the white guy on the staff got to be in a position of authority, all the time. And then people actually say that we can't coach, and then we go do that. It proves them right, and I don't get that.
No, it's just that they for some reason I say we, I'm talking we as head coaches, we believe they can do a better job than ourselves could do. Which
Right.
And I'm gonna go back to Grambling for 1 minute. Here, Hugh Jackson, who's been a coordinator at SC, a whole lot of other places, head coach in the NFL. Why do you need Art Browse if you're the offensive coordinator? You don't need Art Browse. Why?
Right.
See, go out and get a young guy to make him a quarterback coach. Teach him how to be coordinator.
Right.
You?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I guess you go get Art Browse because I got to play Dion. Art Browse ain't going to be no better than nobody else playing against Dion because at the end of the day, let's be honest, it's about the horses.
Right. Coach, last mark, man, it went so fast. We was enjoying ourselves. Your final remarks?
Man, I'm glad to do this, man. Anything you're doing or anybody who has HBCUs at heart, if I can be a help, man, look, call me, and I'm gonna do everything I possibly can. I'm just glad that you had me on this morning.
Well, thank you. And Doug, I broke 8 school records. I broke all driver's room records from TSU in the 70s. I should be coming up pretty soon on
You know
that
what?
ballot, baby.
You know what? I want you to do. Hey, you get all that in print. I'm gonna send it to my man Marcus to make sure he got it.
Hey, you know what I got on speed dial, baby. I was waiting.
Send it to me.
Hey, thank you, Doug. Seriously, thank you, man.
All right,
Man,
appreciate it.
look, you're idol to me. Look.
All right, Johnny. Take care, man.
Thank you.
Tell your brother I say hello.
Yes, sir. Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right.
All right, here we go. I would just want to thank you guys again. We had over 150,000 followers today, and it was rightfully so. Doug Williams, man, look, y'all, we should support him, pray for him, because he is an icon. He is somebody that has spoken up for blacks, and just the things that he's been through as a black man, as a black athlete, that he never shied away from his blackness. And I'm telling you, if you ever have problems, tie a knot at the end of the rope, because ain't nobody bad like you. I'll see you next Monday, 12 noon. I got a great person coming on next week. I'll let you know during the week of who I have, because I got so many great people: Charlie Neal, Curtis Simon, just a lot of guys that wants to get on the show. And I want to thank my supporters. And here's the other thing: please subscribe. Please subscribe to this. I'm getting to this. And again, thanks to AJ Jones, JM&E Productions,